"Sing this, Mozart, and I'll marry you," the billionaire's son joked, until the maid's daughter sang. On a bright, sun-washed afternoon inside the marble halls of the Valoris estate, a single joke changed the destiny of a girl no one saw coming. It happened during one of those golden hours when dust floated like glitter in the air and the chandeliers caught every ray of daylight like 1,000 tiny suns. Amid laughter, polished shoes, and the careless confidence of the wealthy, a remark was tossed out like a stone into still water, light, absurd, meant to amuse. Yet the ripples it created would shake lives, old beliefs, and even the stiff boundaries of class. For in that moment, surrounded by high society, Alastair Valoris, the billionaire's only son, pointed to a Mozart sheet and jokingly declared that he would marry anyone who could sing it flawlessly. No one expected the maid's daughter, a quiet girl with sun-warmed brown skin and ocean-calm eyes, to be the one whose voice would rise and break the silence of privilege. No one expected her voice to change everything. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories where the underestimated rise beyond what the world expects, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Touch of Kindness Stories right now before the story continues. It truly motivates the channel. The maid's daughter was named Marin Solace, born in the shadowed quarters behind the mansion kitchens. Her mother, Leona, was the head housemaid who ran every corner of the estate with a discipline that kept the place shining like a museum piece. Marin was soft-spoken, careful, and accustomed to keeping her presence small, as though she feared taking up space in a world not built for her. Every morning, she awoke before sunrise, helping her mother fold linens while the estate slept, filling the silence with humming tunes only the early birds heard. She had a secret. She loved opera, not in a casual, dreamy sort of way, but deeply, with her whole soul, as if every aria wrapped itself around her heart. She stole moments behind the laundry room to listen to old opera recordings saved on her cracked phone, holding it gently as though it were a priceless treasure. On the other side of the estate's world was Alastair Valoris, a man born of privilege but not arrogance. He had grown up with musicians performing in his living room, with pianos larger than some people's bedrooms, and with the expectation that he would master and appreciate fine art. But he struggled with perfection. He was a pianist who never quite reached his father's ideals, a young man who hid behind jokes when he felt overshadowed. His Mozart joke came from insecurity masked as humor. He had no idea who would hear it, no idea that a girl folding sheets just behind the ballroom doorway would stop breathing for a moment when she heard the challenge. For Marin wasn't drawn by the promise. She couldn't even imagine marriage to someone like him, but by the song itself. Mozart's Laudate Dominum had once saved her. She had listened to it when her father left, when bills piled high, when she thought her dreams would dissolve into the steam of the laundry rooms. It was her anchor. Life at the estate carried on with its usual rhythms. Gardeners trimming rose bushes under the sharp daylight, chefs shouting orders in the kitchen, Leona moving briskly from room to room, making sure every glass sparkled. Marin floated quietly through these routines, but the Mozart sheet lay in her mind like a seed waiting for rain. She practiced in the sunlit attic where old furniture was stored, the dust swirling gently as she stood by a cracked window. She studied breath control, watched recordings, and repeated notes until her throat burned. She wasn't trying to impress Alastair. She just wanted to honor the music. But destiny has a way of leading hearts toward what they don't yet understand. The moment everything shifted came during a daytime luncheon, an event packed with businessmen, patronesses of the arts, and influential friends of the Valoris family. The sunlight pouring through the glass ceiling made the crystal champagne flutes glow like molten gold, and the chatter rose like birdsong. Alastair sat at a polished piano playing a classical melody, though his fingers betrayed his nerves. His father watched with folded arms, evaluating every mistake. Amid the crowd, Marin stood in her usual place against the wall, assisting the staff carrying trays of desserts, lemon tarts, raspberry soufflés, and macaron towers shimmering under the light. She told herself to look down, to avoid any illusion that she belonged among the wealthy guests. But as Alastair stumbled on a chord, her eyes lifted without her permission. Their gaze met briefly, like two worlds brushing past one another without touching. Then came the moment. With a laugh, one of the guests teased Alastair about his earlier joke. Someone found the Mozart sheet and waved it playfully, encouraging the challenge. The daylight flashed across the paper as though fate were highlighting it. Everyone laughed, until a voice rose above the noise. Not loud, not demanding, but steady. It was Leona. She looked weary, protective, but she gave a tiny nod to her daughter, and Marin stepped forward.